diabetes. So polycystic ovarian syndrome is very, very common in women, and more so of African heritage, Mediterranean, and Eastern heritage. So that also affects people who are overweight, and it's associated with insulin resistance. And so people who have polycystic ovarian syndrome quite often have difficulty conceiving. And if they do conceive, they're more likely to have gestational diabetes. And if they have gestational diabetes, they're more likely to get type 2 diabetes later. So all of these diagnoses can have interventions that are not always medications.
And that's our newscast for the hour. I'm Jasmine Patterson with Bermuda Broadcasting News. Enjoy your evening.
And the weather brought to you by BF&M.
Does your to-do list seem to be getting longer and longer? Are you looking for ways to save time? With BF&M, you can. At bfm.bm, you can shop for home, motor, marine, or travel insurance, and you can buy, pay, or renew your insurance online too. Need to pay in installments? With BF&M, you can, even for motor insurance. If you have questions, our live chat agents are available during business hours to assist you, so you can do everything online and save time. That's insurance made easy with BF&M. Visit us online today at bfm.bm.
This weather update is provided by the Bermuda Weather Service, sponsored by BF&M.
All right, thanks, Jasmine. Tonight's going to be partly to mostly cloudy skies, a chance of an overnight shower tonight. Tonight's low 68 degrees. Friday, cloudy, increasing with a couple of showers. Winds out of the southwest, moderate to strong for Friday. Friday's high 73, a low 68 degrees. For the weekend, Saturday, nice and sunny, increasing cloud, a slight risk of a shower or two for Saturday. Saturday's high 74, a low 65 degrees. Sunday, early rain and showers going to be easing from afternoon. Cloud remains for Sunday. Sunday's high 72, a low 57 degrees. And for next week, Monday, early clouds and going to be bright for Monday afternoon too. North and easterly winds this time with a high 66, a low at 56 degrees.
This weather update was provided by the Bermuda Weather Service, sponsored by BF&M.
Thanks to the folks at BF&M and the Bermuda Weather Service.
94.9 Bermuda. Our 95.
And it's time now for a motion to adjourn with MP Chris Famous and Dwayne Robinson.
And good afternoon, Brother Dawn. How you doing?
Always good, man. Glad to see you again, once again in the studio.
And good afternoon to the people of Bermuda. And good afternoon to our guests, who I will introduce in a few seconds. Today, like any other day, we have some not so good news that we'll talk about later on. But we're also going to be doing, we have to inform people what's going on. We have to be fair. And what's that word, Dawn? Well-balanced?
Well-balanced reporting.
Impartial.
Information, yes.
Objective.
Good afternoon to me.
All of the above.
I was getting to you, bruh.
Oh, that sounds like Dwayne.
Good afternoon, Dwayne.
Co-host.
Oh, yeah, he got afternoon to everybody else. I was like,
I never said see, because you're like a guest now. I'm gonna wind you up, like. You're the punchline. And good afternoon to our partner in crime, Dwayne Robinson.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
How you doing, Dwayne?
I'm great, thanks. I'm waiting to get back in the studio as well.
Okay. Dwayne, I'll give you the honor of introducing our special guest today.
Yes, definitely. So, as you know, with this show, we pride ourselves on being, nonpartisan, and Chris Famous was very, very, very nice to me the last week in allowing me to question the budget. And now, we're providing the same opportunity here for the people of Bermuda with the Honorable Cole Simons, who is the leader of the opposition, which will come forward and basically give the people of Bermuda some insight into the reply to the budget that was read by himself on behalf of the One Bermuda Alliance. So welcome, opposition leader.
Thank you, Dwayne. You know, it's always a pleasure to have a chat with you and Mr. Famous. I want to commend you for this show. We know you have a good listening audience, and you try to keep it topical. So it's my pleasure to come on whenever I'm invited. I'm happy to attend to have a chat with you and the broader community. So again, thank you for the invitation, and I look forward to our casual discussion for the next hour.
Good afternoon, opposition leader. How are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you, Mr. Famous.
All
Thank
right.
you for the invitation.
No problem, of course. This show is as much your show as everybody. This is the people's show. So, opposition leader, I will let you lead off with saying some of the highlights of your party's reply to the budget 2022-2023.
Well, thank you very much. Well, let's go look at the macro point of view, and look at what's.
Then I have some
around.
questions for you afterwards, but you go ahead.
That's fine. I'm happy to entertain questions. So we have the Ukrainian and the Russian conflict right now, and that's impacting economies globally. And even prior to that, we had issues with COVID as a result of the supply chain challenges. And that would have had a knock-on effect to most of the economies around the world, and Bermuda is no different. So in my throne speech, I spoke about sanctions of the Russian and the Ukraine theater. That's the, and then I spoke about the recovery in the U.S. and the U.K. I spoke to inflation, and the world inflation is around 7%. And how it impacts Bermuda. And then I spoke to basically domestic issues. So from an economic point of view, at the end of the day, we all know that COVID, which was the main issue for 2021-22, had a devastating impact on the world. People lost their lives, economies crumbled, and supply chains were crumbled. And as a result of the challenges with supply chains and employment, we had problems having products and services delivered. And as a consequence, the prices went up. There were issues with supply shortages. There was issue in finding employees to address these issues because a lot of them were out because of COVID, and they were impacted by COVID. So it just mixed things up and made the normal services and the normal product lines that we take for granted more challenged. And because there were more challenges, there was more demand and supply. And where there's more demand and supply, you get, in essence, higher cost of goods and services. And with higher costs in goods and services comes inflation.
Okay.
And so we in Bermuda are not immune from what's going on in the world because we are in a global economy and we import most of our goods from the UK, US, and Europe. And so whatever happens there will happen here. And so we would have imported inflation. And what happens with imported inflation? It increases the cost of living in Bermuda. And so to me, the biggest challenge that we have now in Bermuda is not only COVID and the impact of the sanctions on Russia, we also have the biggest challenge is inflation and the cost of living. Now, you will appreciate that, things are not all well for us in Bermuda because of the economy, and that's reflective of what's going on everywhere else in the world. So I spoke to that issue. In addition, I spoke to the comments made in regards to the Fiscal Responsibility Panel and how they, as a so-called watch group that provides advice to the Ministry of Finance and the Financial Council on how they think that we can be more effective in the fiscal management of our affairs in Bermuda. And they came up with a number of recommendations which the Premier had in his budget response. I spoke about tourism and hospitality, and I got into the Caroline Bay issues, the history of Caroline Bay, and why we had to do the guarantee. And we also spoke to, of course, Southampton Princess.
Mm-hmm. We'll come back to that one.
That's fine. And I touched on the gaming industry, and of course, we have to speak to international business, i.e. the trust business, the reinsurance business, the aviation business, the mutual fund business, and other opportunities. So I think, and then we spoke to immigration, because as you know, our workforce has, in essence, reduced over the years. And with the reduction in our workforce comes a reduction in our economy. And you will note that the workforce currently sits at approximately 31,250 employees, down from...
Can you say that number again so I accurately...
31,250 jobs.
31,250 jobs.
Down from 34,378,000 in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
As I think it's Chairman of the Bank of England said, no economy will expand without the expansion of the workforce. And so at the end of the day, we need to have an additional 5,000 to 7,000 people join our workforce so that we can get on the path of expanding our economy and moving forward. As someone said to me, we just have to make it more palatable and more attractive for people to come here. And when they come, I take the view that we should have people that are willing to come here to bring jobs or create jobs.
Mm-hmm.
In addition, we need other people who are maybe in the service industry, because it takes all of us, the professionals, the accountants, the entrepreneurs, the hoteliers, the service providers, and even some of the domestic and other careers. Because at the end of the day, we're like a machine, and it takes all parts to make it work successfully. And we have to make sure that we have enough human capital to sustain our economy. And so I'll just stop there. I've said enough.
What? That's it? After that marathon, 2 hours and 17 minutes last week, you cut me short.
Well, opposition leader, before I let my co-host, because I know he's got his part already. I just wanted you to expound on one point quickly.
Yes.
Just there has been criticism about the One Bermuda Alliance calling for more people on the island, with people basically saying, well, what are they going to do? Stand on Front Street, where are the jobs? So I like that you said people who bring the expertise and bring the jobs. So if you could, answer some of those people as far as their concerns about when they hear a $5,000 to $7,000 influx of people.
Absolutely. And I was intentional, and I said that in the House, and I've said it in my statement. In essence, we need to create jobs as well and have people who will bring jobs with them. I can remember a mutual fund company who's very, very successful. They're a global organization. And when they came to Bermuda, the CEO came and he bought 5 or 6 employees and hired 10 Bermudians. And so what I'm saying is those are the type of people that we need to help us expand our economy and expand our GDP. Because when they came with the 6 individuals and hired 10 Bermudians, we had more money beginning to circulate in our economy. And then you have those people who are entrepreneurs who have a vision and know that Bermuda is a jurisdiction in which they can succeed, they would bring their vision to reality by obviously getting their people and also enjoying what is available in Bermuda. I also take the view that, like investment managers, they go out and do a roadshow to, in essence, find people who would want to invest in their products and invest in programs that will help make good returns when it comes to investments. The same thing applies to human capital. Human capital is just as important as, in my estimation, financial or economic capital, because you need people to address some of the needs of our businesses in our communities.
Okay, so let me ask this question. Thanks for. Oh, sorry, Dwayne. You have any other questions?
No, go ahead.
Well, thank you for the question, Dwayne. I think it's a good question, because it makes no sense to bring a lot of people if there is nothing for them to do. And that's why I'm very clear in that when we have people come to Bermuda, they are able to either build jobs or create jobs and also address jobs that Bermudians have no interest in performing. And let's be real and let's be honest. There are some jobs in this country that Bermudians are not interested in. But we still need those jobs to make our economy tick along efficiently.
All right, so we have a break at 5:28, Brother Dawn?
Yes.
So for the next 3 minutes, I'm going to elaborate on that, being as Dwayne opened up. I don't want to lose the momentum. As you know, opposition leader, there are some agencies. One's called BDA, Bermuda Development Agency, correct?
Yes.
Okay. There's also ABIC, and there's ABIR. So the question that one would ask, there's no sign up at the airport saying investors not wanted. There's no sign up saying we don't want any more companies in our country. These organizations, BDA primarily, are formed as a non-political entity, a quango if you may, in order to go and seek persons who wish to come and set up business there, correct?
You are correct. What I would say is they go out to seek business opportunities for Bermuda. They sell the jurisdiction, and basically put us on the map to say that we are open for business.
Okay. So
I think, and just give me a second, I think that generally we place a lot of emphasis on the economic side and looking for investment capital coming into Bermuda. I'm also of the view that we should also consider human capital that can come to this country with financial capital.
Okay. So before we go to break, I'm going to ask this rhetorical question. I remember, all of us remember Captain Larry Birchall. He was an advocate for getting more boots on the ground, for lack of a better term. I remember Michael Fay, advocate for that. I remember asking them, which industries will we have these people working in? Now, my point is not like where they're going to live or where they're going to shop. That could work itself out. Which industries? Because if we have ABIC and ABIR that's already here, they're doing their part to protect international business, to promote international business. BDA is doing a... So who's stopping these companies from coming?
Well, no one's stopping them, I'm just wondering why you're asking the question, who's stopping this?
I said it was a rhetorical question because it's easy for any of us to say, hey, we need 5,000 people. Hey, we need 7,000. Hey, we need 10,000 people. But there's a logistical reality that these people who, let's be real, we want a lot of them to be high-end earners.
Hang on. Like I said, you need a mixture.
No, I said a lot of them. I didn't say all of them.
Okay, fine. Good
A
deal.
lot of them to be high-end earners, because there's the ones who are going to be renting the big houses. There's the ones that's going to be buying the cars. There's the ones that's going to be shopping on at miles. Let's just keep it honest. All right? So who's stopping them from coming? Who or what is stop? I'll leave that with you. I'll leave that with you while we go to break, and that'll give you time to formulate your answer.
I won't got my answer already.
All right.
Are you trying to control your weight? Keeping track of your glucose levels can help you get to a healthy weight. Freestyle Libre helps you to meet your goals by monitoring your glucose levels at any time. Try it. You can find it at the Bermuda Diabetes Association, located on 22 Princess Street in Hamilton, or you can give them a call at 297-8427.
In Love with Wellness is back by popular demand. Excel is extending their facial offer through March. Melt away tension with a 60-minute True Facial for only $99. A truly luxurious treatment valued at $195. Treatment total costs $132.15, including gratuity. Excel Spa and Gym at the Hamilton Princess and Beach Club. Call 298-6046 for more information. Offer valid March 1st through the 31st. Terms and conditions apply.
You're locked to Power 95, Bermuda's big station, at 94.9 FM, a Bermuda Broadcasting Company station.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jasmine Patterson with Bermuda Broadcasting News, brought to you by Butterfield Bank.
Take control of your Butterfield credit card by downloading the Butterfield Card Alerts app. Monitor your spending activity with real-time transaction alerts sent directly to your mobile device. And if your card is lost or stolen, use the app to turn the card off, preventing any further transactions from being processed. Download the app from the Apple Store or Google Play Store today. Customized credit card controls. This is banking by Butterfield. The Bank of N.T. Butterfield & Son Limited is licensed to conduct banking business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
In the headlines, police confirmed the death of 56-year-old Darius Tucker, whose body was recovered from St. George's Harbor yesterday. 2 event planners appear in magistrates' court charged with COVID-19 regulation offenses, and Bermuda ranks high on OECD list of obesity stats. I'm Jasmine Patterson with Bermuda Broadcasting News. Enjoy your evening.
Now back to Motion to Adjourn with MP Chris Famous and Dwayne Robinson.
And good afternoon. Welcome to a real Motion to Adjourn today. Opposition Leader, you still with us?
I certainly am.
Okay, so in 2 minutes or less, because we have a number of topics to cover,
Okay.
I would like for you to elaborate. What is stopping these 5, 7, 10,000 persons from coming in?
Okay.
In your opinion. Let me preface that. In your opinion.
My opinion. I don't think we should say what's stopping them. I think the question should be, what are we doing to attract them? I'm saying that because human capital is just as important as fiscal or financial capital or economic capital. You will note that a number of countries are looking for the brightest people. They have the investment immigration policies, like commercial immigration. They're looking for technical people that help progress their economy. They're looking for bright university students who can build their careers. And so we are just in that global space looking for the same type capital. And so what do we have to do? We have to promote ourselves, be it through the BDA or have a human capital brochure that we can send to the international markets, or we can have conferences that talk about fiscal capital, financial capital in Bermuda, and human capital. Yesterday I met with the Canadian Consul General, and we were speaking about this topic. And he said to me, Mr. Opposition Leader, we, like you, are looking for good human capital. And so we have to offer them sweetness. We have to make it easy for them to come here because Canada is built on immigrants. Canada's economy is built on entrepreneurism. That's what we need here as well, and that's what we're doing. And it's built on innovative ideas and innovative programs. And even if we have some of the service level jobs, the not so high paying jobs, or even some of the refugees, what he said to me was very interesting. He says the children of these immigrants or lower paying jobs or refugees, they are different, they're hardworking, and we are seeing them mature and they are so productive and help run the engine of Canada. And so I'm saying to you is we just can't say we're just not stopping them. What I'm saying to you is we need to go out and invite them to come and build their business and careers in Bermuda because Bermuda is a good place to work. We roll out the real carpet, and our immigration policy is sound because we know that a good immigration policy, in my mind, is a good business policy, and I'll stop right there.
Okay. So allow me to quote something from your budget reply, if possible. That's okay with you?
Of course.
Despite the pandemic, IB registered an increase of 171 jobs. This is impressive given the rise of the video conferencing economy where people do not have to be in Bermuda to conduct business. End quote. I submit to you, opposition leader, that although we have seen 171 in your books rise, that as going forward, there's going to be a challenge to have this big increase in persons in that particular arena because Zoom and what else they call it, Microsoft Teams, all of that now is a global standard. That's as standard as having a swipe card getting into a business round. Now, to your point about the service industries, right? Yes, there are jobs that Bermudians don't do, or not enough Bermudians do. Let me put it that way. And there are jobs that are predominantly staffed by non-Bermudians. But we can only have but so many persons in the service industry. You can't just arbitrarily bring in extra 1,000 people in plumbing because we don't have that demand.
And that's where immigration comes in. They can be the valve in making sure that the human capital that we bring here aligns with the jobs and services that are needed to, in essence, run our economy.
Okay.
And that's where I say the immigration policies, the immigration filter will be the control vehicle to ensure that the human capital is aligned with what's required by our economy.
Okay, so let's move on. Do you have your budget book in front of you? Your reply to budget book in front of you?
I have it here somewhere. Yeah, I have it.
Okay, so I don't want to say something then you're saying that's not in the book, blah, 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 right?
Well, I didn't say it was. I'm just giving you.
No, I'm just saying when I start to quote something here, I want you to follow along with me. Work with me, brother. Work with me. So on page 7, and I quote, the previous finance minister recently insisted that price controls were unlikely to be introduced to combat imported inflation, which you talked about earlier. So what's next? As Bermuda's fuel, electricity, and food prices are almost criminal. You saw him was like a socialist saying that.
Well, the truth of the matter is, like everyone in the world, with 7% inflation, the cost of living is going up around the world, and the real earning power and the real earning value of our money is declining because it's being eroded because of the cost of living. You will get much less for money.
Okay, we understand that.
And,
We understand
and
that.
people were struggling before this ever increasing increase.
All right. So let me ask you a question, and it only requires a yes or no answer. The previous finance minister recently insisted that price controls were not likely to be introduced. Where does OBA stand with price controls? Yes, no.
Well, we have to, in essence, price control covers a full range of issues. And what we would do is, in essence, review the cost of living now and also take the view, is this inflation a long-term issue or is it going to be a transient issue?
Well, we never see prices go down.
I've seen through my professional career as a banker that there are some economists who feel that the inflation is transitory. And if it's transitory, then maybe by June, July, August, you may find the increased inflationary pressures subsiding.
Have you ever seen prices at groceries go back?
Pardon?
Have you ever seen the prices of an item?
I know, but inflation comes down.
Okay, so the rate of it going up slows down, but the price that it's currently at is never going to go back. My point being, in one sentence, you alluding to saying that the prices are almost criminal. But there's no right.
They are. They are very. Right. We are the third most expensive country in the world.
Okay.
We are the most expensive in the world, and it's just unsustainable for the average person. And this is why we're seeing a lot of young people leaving this country because they cannot afford to live here.
Okay, but we're on the same page there.
She was in a chat group of people who emigrated.
Yes, Bermudians in the UK. Yes, we know about it.
To the UK, and there were 3,300 people in this chat group in the UK.
Okay, so
let's told me, and they was having a conversation with one of the organizers. They have seen Bermudians go to the UK because they can ill afford to stay here anymore because of the healthcare high healthcare costs and access to healthcare. They have come over to the UK with just a knapsack on, and they dial into this group and say, "Can you guys help me? Can you help put me up?" Because
that's anecdotal because not everybody's getting out there from knapsack. That's an anecdotal story. Let's get to the meat of the matter. If the prices are unsustainable, correct? When has the OBA ever said to these people, whether it's Belco, which you all brought up the tax 110%, when have you ever said to any of the grocery stores, hey, you guys' prices are, I'm quoting your words, almost criminal? When have you all taken a stand against these people?
We've met with a number of owners of grocery stores and shared their concerns.
Okay, all right.
And in fact, at some point, we even worked with them where they reduced the taxes on food.
Okay, all right. They reduced it for a short period.
Hand in hand as the government and with the businesses of this country.
Opposition leader,
to make it more palatable.
Opposition leader, I have a long memory. They reduced the prices. They went from 5% to 10% on Wednesdays, correct? But then you also gave them the ability to sell liquor on Sundays, and the liquor sales went up.
Excuse me, my friend. That issue was not under our watch.
No. Stop right there. That was under Honorable Michael Fay. I can assure you of that. But anyway, let's move on. Page 8. You quote, Mr. Speaker. Page 8. Paragraph 4. The PLP budget indicated that it was going to review the taxes on oil and fuel imports so that we can reduce the cost of electricity bills. Has Belco agreed to this proposal? Have they committed to passing on the benefits of reduced import taxes and fuel imports to our consumers?
And as you said, these are questions.
Okay.
Not answers, not comments. They are questions that I'm presenting to Belco and to the people of this country.
And you are now aware, if you weren't aware prior, you're now aware that Belco is regulated by the RA, correct?
I am aware of that, and guess what? Belco will make an application to have their fees increased or reviewed. Mm-hmm. You don't think the regulatory authority is going to automatically review the fees of Belco if Belco doesn't apply to have their fees increased?
No, what I'm saying is if the duty on the fuel is reduced, then Belco cannot charge that same amount of money, correct? We're not talking about the electricity fees. We're talking about the fuel. Let's be specific. On a Belco bill, there's at least 5 or 6 line items. So I'm saying that if the duty is reduced, the RA will require Belco to reduce the fee on the fuel prices.
Well, I would love to see that, and if that happens, I, like the rest of Bermuda, will be pleased.
Okay, all right.
But I am not convinced, and that's why I asked the question.
Okay, so I think what we're going to do...
Will Belco reduce our bills at the bottom line in the event that the government reduces taxation on the fuel that is made available to them?
Before we go to break, I'm going to say this again.
I asked the question.
Belco is regulated.
I didn't say it was false. I asked the question.
Okay, all right.
Will Bermuda enjoy?
We have to go
based on
Member, we have to go to break right now.
We will give you the reduction, and you will get a reduction in your Belco bill.
Remember, we have to go to break.
I am certain that will happen, and hence I've asked the question.
Okay, Member, we're going to a break, and we'll be right back.
Come and engage your senses, compete for fantastic prizes, and think outside the box as you discover Hamilton. The City of Hamilton is delighted to announce that its citywide scavenger hunt is back by popular demand and will take place March 11th and 12th. The City Scavenger Hunt is a fun-filled, educational, and contactless event. Registration for the event is now open. To learn more, go to the city's website at cityofhamilton.bm. We look forward to uncovering Hamilton's treasures with you.
The family farmers who own Welch's insist on making 100% grape juice with no added sugar, colors, or flavors. At harvest time, they pick Concord and Niagara grapes at the peak of their flavor and deliver them within hours to be fresh pressed into delicious Welch's 100% grape juice. Rich in antioxidants, our grape juice adds bold flavor and a nutritional boost to your diet. Visit Welch's.com for healthy recipes.
Now back to Motion to Adjourn with MP Chris Famous and Dwayne Robinson.
Okay, are you back, Honorable Opposition Leader?
Of course, sir.
Okay, so let's go to page 31. Page 31.
I was just writing something. Page 31.
Third paragraph.
Okay, go ahead.
The other issue which needs to be addressed is Bermuda's garbage collection. The collection of garbage just one day a week is not acceptable. It is a health hazard in our homes and along the roadsides. Why not privatize some of these services? So, I'm asking clear, yes or no, is the OBA advocating for government services to be privatized? If the answer is yes, how are these people going to be paid? These private services.
Okay, I am speaking to the garbage collection, as you said, and you qualified it correctly. And you know that we had 2-day garbage collection before. and other people are saying that that is not enough. I mean, right now we're on 1 day garbage collection.
Mm-hmm. And we're also saving $1 million per year.
Well, that's right. And so other people are saying, well, that's not enough. And so we had, if I remember correctly, a gentleman that wanted to have a private garbage collection service, and it was gaining momentum. And for those who wanted to have an additional garbage collection day, then they could have subscribed to his service and ease the pressure and demand and the challenges that's faced by the Works and Engineering Department in putting on a second day.
Okay,
so you tell me why you think it's challenging that we would have a private individual who's being entrepreneurial run a garbage collection based on his clients alongside the government collection.
Okay,
they're working parallel to each other. They're saving government money and providing a healthy environment.
How are they
and
saving?
those people who, in essence, are willing to subscribe to this gentleman's service, they have the garbage collection on the second day, and everybody's healthy, happy.
Okay,
and
so
you have a healthier environment.
Let's qualify one of your statements. How are they saving? How would that be saving the government money?
How will it be saving the government money?
Well, that's what you said. So I'm just actually.
So what I'm saying is, for those people who want to have a second garbage collection day, we'll have a resource in the tune of a second private company who's willing to pick up that service to satisfy the community. At the end of the day, it's about entrepreneurism. And there is no reason why the government needs to feel that they should be a monopoly when it comes to garbage collection in this country. Why can't we have a private individual who is keen on having this service run parallel to the government service?
All right. We're racing against timer because I understand you have a hard stop at 6 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna have to wind on because at 5:55 we want to do something special that you know about. Yes or no answer. OBA, do you support the concessions for Fremont Southampton?
I have to see them all because before I can answer that question. And I'm saying that because concessions are specific to properties. And if you're asking me, do I support the project coming to completion, the answer is yes.
Yes, because you did say this PLP government must strike a deal with Gen Communal.
Right.
Okay, all right.
And so we have to strike a deal that is beneficial to all stakeholders in that contract.
Yes, like other projects of this nature, the government must come to grips with the fact that they should provide a sovereign guarantee. Okay, so we got that sorted out. Now, one last thing before we go, two other things. You made a quote on page 6 about land tax. Correct?
Hang on.
Paragraph 4.
Go ahead. I know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
The people of this country should also pay close attention to their land tax bill. I have been advised, which is a colloquial way of saying I was told, I heard somebody tell me, have been advised that there's an all-out assault on the increase of annual ARV on our homes and commercial buildings by our land valuation team members. This is concerning because if our ARV is adjusted upwards, land tax bills will increase, even if the land tax rates are not adjusted. Again, is a money grab by stealth. Do you still stand by that statement?
I do.
Okay. So do you remember last year us passing legislation that kind of put this ARV going up on hill?
You put up the rates from going up. So listen, you can go out right now and have an inspector come to my house and say, "Oh, Mr. Simons, you've done a great job. The house looks great. You've added this, and so we put up your ARV, or the ARV is incorrect based on what I see here, and you've made no changes for 20 years, but we think that the ARV was miscalculated and it should be such and such." And that's what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right. Okay. So this is a what
And
if.
I've heard that from a number
this
of
is
people.
this is all supposition on your part.
No. This is fact.
So you're saying factually that land tax is going up this year?
No, what I'm saying is the rate may not be going up, but in some cases the value of the properties are going up, up based on the revision of some residents' ARVs on their homes after they've done very little to enhance or increase the value. But for some reason, the inspector who is examining these homes feel that the property itself is undervalued and it needs to be adjusted. And when it's adjusted, and if it's adjusted upward, because it's adjusted upward, the rate will apply and the taxes will be increased.
Okay, so according to your quoter, the people of this country should also pay close attention to their land tax bills. And you end with, this is again a money grab by stealth. So I'm asking you, is land tax going up?
I'm saying if the ARVs are going up and the land tax rate remains the same with the ARVs going up, there will be an increase in land tax, unquestionably.
What, this year?
Because
2022, 2023?
Pardon?
In this budget year?
It could be, yes.
No. You can't say yes it is and then say it could be.
I'm saying it could be based on the fact if Mr. Inspector comes to my house today and says, "Mr. Simons, I think your house is undervalued by $10,000 or $15,000, and we have to adjust it."
Okay, so
when
we're
you adjust it the next day, my tax bill is going to go up.
All right, so we're going to go to break, our last break now, then we come back and close this out.
Most of us identify pasta with the joys of Italian food, the most popular cuisine on the planet. After all, pasta is the staple food of Italy, where hundreds of varieties are enjoyed daily. While traveling in the Far East, the founder of the Explore Cuisine company was surprised and impressed by the variety of exotic pastas he found, sampled, and enjoyed there, and resolved to bring this knowledge back to enrich the cuisine of the West. This month, we're featuring delicious Explore Cuisine organic mung bean fettuccine and black bean spaghetti. Lindo, why go anyplace else?
Now back to Motion to Adjourn with MP Chris Famous and Dwayne Robinson.
So, page 15, you speak about IB, but particularly in the context of us being on the gray list. Us being on the gray list, you in the House, you attempted to allude that it's not in there in writing, but verbally you attempted to allude that it was a mistake on the part of the government why we're on the gray list?
I'll just be brief. I'll
Yes.
be very brief.
Yes. It's a yes or no answer, really.
I'm going to be brief, very brief. We were on the white list.
Mm-hmm.
We were downgraded to the gray list. Why were we downgraded? Because we didn't meet the requirements to remain on the white list. Why was that? Either we didn't meet our commitments or something negative occurred.
Okay. So
Full stop.
So one day we're gonna have a show about the gray list and the black list. Do you let me help me out here, opposition leader? Do you realize that right now in London, people are trying to sell off assets and liquidate the houses? Because why? They are subject to sanctions. Has the UK ever been on the blacklist?
I can't answer that question, quite frankly. I can't answer the question.
Okay, so let me help you out. The blacklist, it says people in the countries in the EU can never be on the blacklist. Countries that do big business with the EU can't be on the blacklist. So countries such
Where
as...
are you reading this from?
I'm not reading it from your book. I'm telling you, I asked you a question and you didn't answer, so I'm giving you the answer.
So, and I'm asking you, what is your source?
I will send you the source. I will send it to our intermediary friend, and he could send it to you.
Tell the people of Bermuda you're going to
The source is a blacklist, an economist, Marla Dukaran, who's an economist, right?
And who is she?
I will send all that to you.
Okay, then.
My point being is that the countries that are doing the most money laundering never on the blacklist. But the countries such as Bermuda, Cayman Islands, BVI, and others that aren't doing money laundering are always on some list or the other.
I agree with you 100%
right.
on that.
Because one of the things that one of the articles that I'm clipped out was Honorable Bob Richards talking about how the EU was just waiting to put us on the blacklist for any little stupid reason. That's not his exact words, but
I understand the sentiment. I really do.
Okay, so I understand.
I'm kind of
so to
almost there with that sentiment as
so
well.
To infer that
they will place a hurdle in front of us because at the end of the day, they take the view that we are helping erode their tax base.
Okay, right. So when we say words that paint the picture as if there are entities in this country that are doing some shady stuff, or that the government hasn't did all what they're supposed to do. They
set the standards and requirements.
They continue. They also
and the blacklist.
They also
we were on the gray list initially.
And they
we
also
did a few things. We agreed to some concessions, and they put us to the white list.
And they also
we were
changed
on the white list, and then they downgraded us.
Okay, let me quote you
to
here.
the gray list.
Let me quote you
They
here.
didn't just arbitrarily.
Let me quote you here. Can I quote you here?
They chose to do it, and they felt that we didn't continue to meet the requirements of remaining on the white list.
I'm gonna quote.
And as
I'm gonna quote 6 words from you. We know this game is unfair. Correct? Those are your words.
Continue.
The EU continuously change the goalposts. If they say, well, Honorable Leader Simons, you have to walk as far as Jennings Leon to the post office to stay on the white list. You do that, you get to the post office, they say, well, look, we've changed some of our regulations. Now you got to walk down to Deep Dean. You do that.
And because we are an international business jurisdiction, because we want to play in their space, because we want to play in Europe, because we want to play in the UK, because we want to play international business in Germany, we have to, in essence, abide by their rules so that our IB, the ABR companies, and the ABIC companies can have an opportunity to open the door. So if we don't get on their list to make us acceptable to play in their playpen in Europe and the EU, then our international business, who's our main driving engine of this country, will be compromised.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, my point,
we have to look at our economic drivers,
and I'm saying to you,
ensure that they are positioned to succeed.
And I'm saying to you, there are people at the BMA, there are people at the Ministry of Finance and other places that's what they do all the time. But yet, these are consummate professionals with millions of letters behind their names, right? You think they're sitting there saying, "Yeah, I might get to that tomorrow." No,
I never said that.
No, but
so
to infer.
All I'm saying to you that we missed the criteria as a jurisdiction that will enable us to remain on the white list.
Okay. Well, this conversation on the blacklist is something that we all need to have a honest conversation with the people of Bermuda, because we all, no matter what, right? International business drives our economy. Correct?
Yep.
So it makes no sense us being partisan about a blacklist or gray list or white list, because they could care less whether we're PLP, OBA. They are out for all of us, correct? Well, Honorable Opposition Leader, I want to thank you for taking the time to spend with us.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure. I'll come anytime you want.
Oh, most definitely. We're gonna have some more spirited debates, and I would really love sometime in the future to have MP Jarian Richardson on her as well, because he can speak to a lot of things that people need to hear.
We could be happy to do that.
All right, no problem. And give my regards to your wife and your children and all your neighbors down there in Janice Land.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much.
And thank you, Mr. Robinson.
And Brother Dorn.
Me on board and putting me in the line stand with Mr. Famous. Have a good evening, gentlemen. Thank you very much, and thank you for the invitation.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you, Bermuda.
Thank you, Brother Devine.
Famous, you brought the house to the people of Bermuda.
Yeah, this is the real motion to adjourn. We didn't name this show this for no reason. I want to thank Brother Dawn for giving us a little extra minute.
Yeah, no problem.
We were going to speak to something, but we're going to postpone that for a bit.
You sure? You want to do it now?
No, I just want to, this is all I want to say.
Okay.
As men, we all are dealing with different sorts of challenges, stresses, so on and so forth, right? And at times more often than not, we keep it to ourselves. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't work out. All I'm saying to the fellow men of Bermuda, big man, small man, whatever, if for some it's even, it's sorry. I meant you do it. I'm cracking a joke. But in all sincerity, always know you can reach out to somebody. It's somebody there that will listen to you. It's somebody there that will actually care. So I won't get into any other details, but just know there's always somebody that cares about you. And I just want to give out a shout out to our faithful listeners. And somebody says he talked his way out of that fire by stretching. Okay, his 90-second response to a full. Well, that's he's a skilled politician. These things are to be expected. I want to give a shout out to the ladies that gave us the fudgy bars. Did you like the fudgy bar?
Yeah, I want some more.
You want some more?
Yes. No, I'm not shy. I'm not shy. Dwayne, did you get any?
Hold on. Is it another fudgy bar in there?
No.
Hey, if it was, it'd be going.
Even if it was, sir,
we'll share it.
you can't get it because you're not here, bro.
We'll half it out between us two guys. We'll give it the final say on how it tastes.
So we want to give a shout out to the people who gave us the fudgy bar. There is Beline Ramos, or Johnny Akong, and Miss Maritza. So thank you once again. Next week we have who we have next week, Dwayne?
MP Barrett.
Honorable Barrett in your mouth, son.
That's why that's
So we have Honorable John Barrett who's coming back for part 2 of the Bermuda political history. So as you all know, this show is about informing the people, a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of theatrics here and there. A
little bit of fudgy bar.
Yeah, a lot bit of fudgy bars.
Yeah, for some of us.
Yeah, for some of us. But don't you work? How you know what a fudgy bar is, Dwayne?
What you mean? Everybody knows what a fudgy bar is. I mean, well, I've stocked them. I'm not supposed to be having them yet.
Oh, but you know what a fudgy? Because I'm saying you're getting all excited, and I'm like, you didn't know what a fudgy bar is.
For the whole time.
You never had one, so we've got the link though.
Yeah, we got the hookup.
We got the hookup.
Yeah,
we got it before it hit the store shelves.
See.
Yeah, so we'll be back next week. I'm not sure what we're doing on the 24th is yet, but for sure next week is the Honorable John Barrett with Bermuda Political History Part 2. And thank you once again to the OBA leader And we will do our best this year to, once they agree to it, have more of their 6 MPs and 3 senators come on the show.
That was a real specific number you listed there.
Well, I don't know if they want their party, shout out to the faithful, party members who work behind the scenes, or they have some candidates announced, right? Hey,
there you go.
Yeah, shout out to the new senator. What's his name now? What's his name, Dwayne?
Mr. Dakuda.
Doug. Guy says, just call me Doug. Dr. Doug.
Yes, Dr. Doug.
I thought his face looked familiar. Then I looked it up and I said, oh, this guy ran for the UBP back in 2007. I thought he looked familiar.
You trying to start another show?
Hey, that's what. It's like the honorable thing. We have to spur business.
I mean, it's true. Yes.
Okay, you know me. I'm not gonna say something that's not true.
We have a spinoff. We're gonna have a spinoff show.
Anyway, gotta go, brother Dawn. Love you. I'm gonna actually be off the island, but I'll be calling in from wherever I am to make sure this show stays popping. Love you all, and like I said, if you need talk to somebody, just reach out. And with that.
And you have been listening to Motion to Adjourn with MP Chris Famous and Dwayne Robinson.
You're locked to Power 95, Bermuda's big station at 94.9 FM, a Bermuda Broadcasting Company station. Power 95 plays the day's hottest new music.
This is sick.
Blazing all of your favorite jam. The big station. Power 95.